Call your sponsor. Call your sponsor. Call you sponsor. Call you sponsor. Call you.
Bitch, call your sponsor.
Call your.
All right, welcome to Bitch Call Your Sponsor. I'm Misty.
Call your sponsor. Hi, Misty. I'm Sam.
Hello, Sam. How are you?
Oh, that's a loaded question.
All right, we'll just get into our primary purpose. Our primary purpose is for Misty and Sam to grow
their friendship and maybe
help others.
Just maybe.
Maybe, whatever. So speaking of maybe help others, the topic for today is, surrender, letting go of my attachment to the results. That's one of my favorite things when I'm in a situation where I get bogged down by scared feelings, worries, that I get to the place where I go, please let this work out in a way that's best for everyone involved. And it's like this sweet surrender spot that is so yummy and tasty, and that I let go of my attachment to the results of how it's going to work out. And I'm always surprised that it's the last house on the block thought for me. There's so many other ways that my brain goes to of solutions before it goes, oh yeah, what's the tried and true one? It might not work out, So, thoughts?
The sweet surrender. What's coming up for me is I remember when I came in, I used to hear, there's nothing that I let go of that doesn't have claw marks, the let go or be dragged. And this, I need to have my experience of pain or suffering in order to then finally let go and or become open to that, what you're saying is the last door, where it's like, oh, there's a spiritual solution. It's not in my brain. I think all too often I identify with getting caught in the thought of, and the attachment of, no, it needs to look like this. And what that's done for me is close me off to any other possibility.
Yes. Oh my God, this is so good. I'm so glad you said that, because yes, part of the reason it's the last thought house on the block for me is that I have to feel my feelings. Like, it's not a two-step deal. It's not like, oh, there's pain. Oh, I surrender. That's robot shit. And I have to feel my feelings over the situation, and then also be careful not to get stuck in my head with the story that I'm filtering because of childhood, pulling out only what supports this old story of mine from the situation and running on that train, and then making solutions that I've missed the point.
God, that story is so intoxicating.
100%.
It's so intoxicating. And in that story, I usually have a role of God or victim, is what I've noticed.
Say more.
I'm either hand on hip, wagging my, finger, you shouldn't be doing this, you should have done this, blah, 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 whether it's to myself or another. Or it's, oh my God, I can't believe that I have to do this, or they're making me do this, or any of those, the victim role. I love both sides of that. Like, that's what I know. That vibration is what I grew up into. And if I'm not careful, even in this current path I'm on, if I'm not carefully curating what I'm consuming, I will easily fall back into those patterns of thinking.
100%. And I love that so much. And where I'm at today is to try and be really kind of gentle with myself, that I didn't put that software in there that only pulls out the victim, or this is the way my friend Christy puts it, is she'll say, I'm innocent, they're guilty.
Ooh.
And that's what my brain will work on. And then there's sometimes where it's like, I work with women who are like, I'm guilty, they're innocent. They're always trying to make it, even if it's like
Mm.
the friend stood them up for plans. They're like, well, maybe I should have, and it's like, no, 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 no. So it's two sides of that coin. Either my brain's trying to figure out how I'm innocent and they're guilty, or how I'm guilty and they're innocent.
Oh, God, I love that. I love this whole thing about this legal eagle situation because I always talk about like I build the case file and that's the lens and filter through which I look through things.
Right. That's the story. That's the
Yes.
story. I'm pretty
Yes.
much my own attorney
Yes.
that is figuring out the way we're going to win this situation with the judge and the jury and all of that.
Yes.
And I'm representing myself, which is not a great idea.
Yes. And it all goes for me through this thing of I'm right, they're wrong. Or
Yes,
like you said, it's either side of the coin, right? It's like I'm the worst, I'm a failure versus I'm above all of this and I do no wrong.
exactly. Exactly. So then my goals today are a situation I just went through, which I think is a really
Mm,
good example. I was having a situation at work where I was feeling that I was being used and manipulated.
mm,
And I met with someone who works in another area, and they were like, haven't you heard? Like, you're being used and manipulated. And I was like,
mm,
there it is, the validation that I needed. And I wrote like a legal eagle kind of email, just letting this person know, like, I see you, because my ego really wanted to be sure that they
mm.
knew that I saw what they were doing. And I sent it to a friend of mine. I wish I could say I waited for her response before I sent, but I did not. I sent it to her, and her response was, whoa, like that might be a good email just for you to digest. And I get it, but it sounds very like you're ready to go to HR. It sounds very legal eagle.
Mm,
And I go, well, too bad. I already sent it.
mm.
And then I was like, how can I love myself that I sent it?
Wow. Mm,
And I had the meeting, and my friend was right. I had pretty much said, you know, be ready. Here come the
mm.
bombs. And they
Yep.
were like, we're ready. We see the
Mm,
bombs. And I was
mm,
like, uh-oh, I may have flown too close to the sun.
mm,
And then it was still about, okay, you flew too close to the sun. How can you be kind to yourself? How can you let go of your
mm.
attachment of where this goes? You may have done the same thing that you've done in the past, and how can you be
Mm.
kind to yourself in this moment?
Oh my gosh, there's so many things. The one thing I definitely just want to reiterate is like, and how can I love more? Right? Is like the thing I always am reminded whenever I speak with you because I'm ready to whip out the whip and all of those
Mhm.
things. Which it's nothing grows. You know, a rose doesn't open by me. You know, peeling it open and cracking the whip. It opens from love, tenderness,
Mm.
kindness, compassion, you know, air, water, you know, the essentials. The essentials, not a straitjacket. So the case file, yes. The hitting send, regardless, yes. You know, it's like, and I love when you share stuff like this because it really reminds me, like, I don't have to be perfect,
Mhm.
you know, and that like sometimes I'll share like I have to fall off the beam to know where the beam is, you know, and it's not like a bad thing. It's like I'm constantly testing parameters and boundaries. Sometimes I tend to be more reactive than not, and that's just kind of where I am. But I wanted to go back to this feeling thing where I remember, and I don't even know where it is now because I looked in the other programs and I don't think it's there, but there's this thing called the three A's. Have you heard of them?
No.
So it's awareness, acceptance, action. And so there's three, it's a
Mm.
flow. And so as an addict in recovery or not, tools, no tools, drink, no drink, I become aware of something, a feeling, usually a thought, and it is either conscious or unconscious, and then I immediately launch into action. And the middle step is
Mm,
actual acceptance, which is like, oh, I can actually sit and have a feeling, which is
mm.
revolutionary because I just want to plow through and get somewhere, which is usually out of the feeling.
That is so good. So good. I was just talking to someone who was dealing with a newcomer who doesn't want to feel the way they're feeling.
Hmm.
And that's what it is. That's why we go for the drink or the drug. We don't want to feel the way we're feeling. And emotional maturity and emotional sobriety looks like sitting with uncomfortable feelings. There's no shortcut here. That's not what
Hmm.
recovery's about. It's about, and it's also, I don't want it to be the blame game because I didn't come by all this magically. Like I'm not responsible for putting the software in where I abandon myself to take care of others.
I'm at the edge of an emotion right now.
Yay,
and
awareness.
and I'm wanting to not go deeper. Like I'm finding myself. I think that's what's
Mm.
known as dissociative behavior, right? Like
Or
where
protection.
or protection, where I will go more into the story than the feeling because it's easier for me to be in my brain than it is to be in my
Mm-hmm.
body. Um, yeah, these are all things that I use to survive.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that at the core is there there wasn't I didn't necessarily feel safe. There was just erratic, like not sure what to expect. There wasn't consistency.
Oh, I'm gonna have a feeling. I just heard
Mm,
something amazing in a meeting and I would love to share it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it justice because it was so complex to what we're
mm,
speaking about. But it was saying, this woman was saying that as she was growing up, her parents didn't know who they were. And
mm,
so they were raining down all of their fears and insecurities upon her as a child.
mm,
And to try and like shove down whatever her true self was bringing up for them.
mm,
And so when they're raining all these words down of what she is and how she is, that she's taking those in and instead of being a feeling, they're going into her brain as thoughts.
mm.
And that our thoughts are just energy, right?
Yep.
And I just thought that was so interesting. That's how we go from supposedly marching out into this world to live from our hearts, but going into our heads and
Mm,
going from there.
mm. Um, I have a question because this has come up. I get to be around a lot of men of all different shapes, color, sizes,
Mm-hmm.
and there is like this toxic masculinity, I guess I would call it,
Mm-hmm.
where like real men don't feel feelings, right? Or real
Mm-hmm.
men just buck up and whatever that stiff upper lip and just hammer through, right? And
Mm-hmm.
um I've been like practicing this thing lately where it's like, okay, what am I feeling? What is the name of the feeling? You know, Usually try to pick three. And where is it in my body? And can I feel it in my body? And then I go in my brain and I'm like, is there the story, which we've been talking about, this case file, the story, the narrative that is
Mm-hmm.
adding to the feeling? And I guess it's like what's coming up for me is this thing of like not being, I don't know how to share feelings because I don't know what I'm feeling, right? Similar to you're saying, like parents
Mm-hmm.
don't know who they are. So they're just all up in this whole other place when they're trying to raise somebody.
Call your sponsor.
Call you sponsor. Call you sponsor. Call you sponsor. Call you.
Bitch, call your sponsor.
Call your
New
sponsor.
episode tomorrow. Send us an email bcysponsor@gmail.com. New
Call
Bitch,
your sponsor.
Call you sponsor.
Sponsor.
Call you
Call
sponsor.
your
Call you
sponsor.
sponsor. Call you.
Bitch, call your sponsor.
Call your sponsor. Call your
New episode tomorrow. Send us an email bcysponsor@gmail.com.